deadly game that has teenagers targeting total strangers, trying to knock them out with one punch. The kids refer to it as a game called Knockout. It's reportedly on the rise across the country. The point, as one teenager says, we're doing it just for fun. So what can be done to knock out this disturbing new trend? Peter Johnson joins us.
Good morning. Yeah, this really is disturbing. Also known as one-hitter quitter. We're seeing it now, and also polar bear hunting. We're seeing an attack in Brooklyn's Crown Heights neighborhood where Jewish people have been targeted over the last couple of weeks, according to Commissioner Ray Kelly, the police commissioner here in New York City.
Why do they call it polar bear hunting?
Well, allegedly because they're targeting bears who happen to be the color white. And so
there's a racial component?
Well, let me say this.
There may be.
Let me say this. The victims appear to have been all white, and the assailants appear to have been all black. And so the mainstream media has not been discussing this at all. Greta Van Susteren took it on a couple of nights ago, and there have been 5 deaths since 2011. We've seen this in 14 different states, plus Washington, D.C. This is a sucker punch gone wild, in which people fall to the ground and very often strike their head and die as a result of it, with one punch to the back of the head or to the jaw. And usually gangs of kids who do this as a thrill event, and unfortunately very often a thrill kill.
And it's the object is to do it in one hit, get the person down with one hit, and they're not just targeting men. I read that there was a woman somewhere riding a bike. Some guy comes out of nowhere, boom!
And we've seen video, and we should show it again, of a woman, and it's terrifying. She just goes down. It's worse than a heavyweight fight. We understand and we know that over time, in the lowest socioeconomic areas in the United States, boxing, physical activity, pugilism has been a kind of a way out. But now we're seeing this kind of cowardly, vicious, dastardly attack on people out of the blue, knocking older people, women, younger people, people of all kinds to the ground, sometimes to their death.
I read somewhere one guy was killed, murdered, essentially. The teenager got 55 years. So clearly it's assault. It could be murder. It could be a hate crime.
Well, no, what could this be other than a hate crime? In some instances, it's been charged as a hate crime. In other instances, it has not. A hate crime usually requires some utterance or some motivation that's been expressed to someone else. But what could be the basis for this thing going forward? Clearly, all Americans, especially religious leaders, need to speak out in a way, and community leaders, white and black and people of all stripes, to say, listen, young fellas, if you don't understand the consequences of this, let me tell you the consequences. A, you're going to kill someone. B, you're either going to go to prison for life or suffer the death penalty as a result of doing this. People need to know about this, whether this is racial or it's not racial. It's dangerous to Americans, and unfortunately, it's on the rise, and we're seeing it here in New York City.
And despite what they call it, it is not a game. Peter Johnson Jr.,
the most deadly game.
No kidding. It's just